Yo, what is up, guys? NBA Real Talk back here, and today we are doing a new series. It is where I'll spend time doing research and then talk about a point like a person's draft stock or like if they're gonna be the next best player or something like that. So let's get right into it. And this, as you see by the title, this video is about Monte Morris and Peter Jock's draft stock because I live in Iowa and I just wanted to figure out more about them. So let's start with Monte Morris. Monte Morris is 6'3", 175 pounds, a senior for the Iowa State Cyclones. He averaged 16 points and 6 assists, which on less minutes than his junior year, he averaged 3 more points, less turnovers, higher three-point and free throw percentage, the same amount of assists, but a lower field goal percentage, but I'm not really worried about that if I was drafting him. A lot of mock drafts have him going let's see. In this one, they have him going 48th overall, and another one I remember they had him going 43rd overall. So it's kind of a toss up between that 40 to 50 range. But I think he can be a great player. Let's get into his weaknesses and his strength. So one of his main strengths is the pick and roll game. He is one of the best at the pick and roll, like finding the open mound. He's a great passer. He has lots of use of the bounce pass and the chest pass, and he can step in and play like right away. He's not one of those rookies that need to be groomed in the D League or anything. He can play right away. He shoots the ball well, but he needs to be able to gain range, which is one of his weaknesses. All of his threes in college were right on the college 3-point line, which is a mid-range shot for the NBA. He's also great. He's also pretty good at attacking the rim and creating his own shot, which is very helpful. He needs to be a better defender. That's what a problem with a lot of guys. He's a little slow. He's not the greatest athlete. His basketball IQ and defense needs to be a little better. But besides that, I think he will be. I think he'll be selected by a contender, and his two competition I think is Frank Mason III and Jawan Evans. Jawan Evans from OSU might be returning to college next year just because he is a sophomore. He averaged better numbers at 19 and 6, and he's younger. 2 inches shorter, which might turn off a couple of teams. But really, I don't have and Frank Mason III, who is 5'11", averaged better numbers at 20 and 5. I think I project him probably going 55th overall. So just because I think people don't want a 23-year-old point guard that's 5'11", which we saw what happened with Isaiah Thomas and Tyler Ulis. What happened with them? Tyler Ulis has just had a really good rookie season, but Isaiah Thomas, older point guard, and was the last pick in the draft. So I think they can turn out to be great players. But going back to Monte Morris, I have a feeling with the Rockets are projected to have back-to-back picks in the mid second round. He's projected like a 43rd and a 44th, or it'll move around like that. And they're not projected all the way back-to-back picks, but they have a good chance to get back-to-back picks. So I think really 45th and 46th is the one I'm seeing currently a lot. So I have a feeling that the Houston Rockets will select Monte Morris from Iowa State with the 46th pick. The Rockets are in need of a point guard. They have Pat Beverly and James Harden, but really they'd like a nice young scoring point guard, and that is what you get with Monte Morris. I think he'll be a good scorer in the league. If I had to compare him to one NBA player, I would have to compare him to probably like a Devin Harris type, maybe like a Jamal Crawford type, something like that. But I think he'll be a great NBA player. Do I see him being an all-star someday? I mean, that's yet to see. I think he has a work ethic to do it, but I don't know if he will be able to. Now let's move on to Peter Jock. Peter Jock, a senior 6'6", 205 pounds. This year he averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. Getting 3 more minutes than the year before, he averaged 3 more points, another turnover. Steals were the same, assists were doubled, rebounds were doubled, free throw percentage was at 91%, his 3-point was at 38%, and his field goal percentage was at 42%. Peter Jock, I think he has one main competition, which is Josh Hart out of Villanova. He averaged 18, 6, and 3, so not identical, but pretty close numbers there. He's had a better overall college career, averaging 15 last year, 10, and 8 the year before. His turnovers at 2, and he is a better defender. Peter Jock also suffered with injury through the year. He had a back injury for missing a lot of time, and he was very inconsistent during the year. He was at times where he was on fire a lot, and then there's other times where every shot he'd take he'd miss. You don't like seeing that, but as you see, Josh Hart and Peter Jock, they are both 6'6". They're both about the same weight, and they're both seniors. Really, what it comes down to now is what their weaknesses are for the NBA. And when you go look at Peter Jock, his strengths are he shoots the ball very well. He can pull up from deep. He has some of the best range I've seen in the country. But weaknesses is he struggles at the rim. He only shot 46% on 2-point field goals this season. And in the NBA, it won't get any easier with a Rudy Gobert in your face. And he also an ISO ball. You see him, he do that a lot, but he struggles during it. He has the same move where he does a couple just front crossovers, and then he pulls up from mid-range jumper, which doesn't always work out. And it won't, because he only makes it half of the time. And really there isn't much in his offensive game that's bad. As you see, he can pull up. He's a great 3-point shooter. Pulling up from deep, but he can be very inconsistent. You don't know how he can hold up with his back. His defense is poor. He doesn't have really good foot speed, even to hold up with NBA level guards. He struggled with guards throughout his whole collegiate career, and his defense has improved, but the zone offense, because of at Iowa, has not shown that his defense has improved really during it. He had a great senior season, but really he hasn't been talked about like a lot of people have. So really, I don't think he'll be very highly scouted at all, which kind of sucks for him because he's had a great year. But I think it could help him winning the 3-point contest, the collegiate 3-point contest, could help his chances out a bit. But I don't know. And then look at Josh Hart real quick, and Josh Hart, he shot good. He shot 50% from the field in his career, and 38 from 3, which he's just a really good all-around player. He struggles off the dribble. With Jock, he does not struggle off the dribble, and Josh Hart is not a great athlete. He's not going to wow you at all with dunks or speeding up like a Russell Westbrook. He's not physically gifted, really. He only has a 6'7" wingspan, and he's 6'6". I think he'll get passed up a lot because he's 23 and not 19. But I honestly think that Josh Hart will probably go around 50. I think he will go very close to Monte Morris. He could go before him. I feel Josh Hart, again, either going to a young rebuilding team or a contender. I think that could help out. And sadly for Peter Jock, I feel him going. He could go, not sadly really, but I feel like he can go. I see him going around maybe the 58th pick. I think with the 58th pick, that's what New York Knicks are projected, and they're a nice like run and gun offensive type team that doesn't play much defense. So I feel like Peter Jok could fit in nicely there. I've seen comparisons with him, like a Courtney Lee type player. So I definitely see that, and having them on the same team, that could really help out. But I have a feeling if he doesn't get drafted really there, he will go undrafted, but I don't think that's uncommon for Iowa. You see Jared Uthoff, who a lot of people thought could be early second round. He fell out of the draft completely and was signed by the Dallas Mavericks. And, people like Aaron White, Devin Marble, they don't get as much because Iowa, isn't a big basketball name school, so you don't get as much proper attention as I think you should. So yeah, guys, that has been it. My projections were 46th for Monte Morris, and probably around 58th pick, uh, or undrafted for Peter Jok. It just depends on how they view him, but I think the Knicks could take them. But so yeah, guys, that's been it. If you like this series, give it a thumbs up. If not, just don't give me a thumbs up. But comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.